Let me say something that might sound strange or even offensive if you've been struggling lately. The job market isn't broken, but it also isn't safe. And that contradiction is exactly why so many of you feel a deep, vibrating sense of unease right now. You see, the headlines claiming unemployment is at historic lows. You hear the Fed and the economists talking about a soft landing and a resilient labor market. But then you go on LinkedIn and see a sea of open to work banners. You see your own company cutting redundant roles while remaining staff is drowning in work. If you feel confused, you aren't behind. You're early to noticing the most significant structural shift in the labor market since the 1970s. The job market isn't collapsing, it's being cleared out. And today, I want to explain what that actually means for your 2026 without the corporate gaslighting. Let's talk about the data, because the surface level numbers are designed to keep people calm, not to keep them informed. The unemployment rate is a lagging indicator. It tells you what happened yesterday, not what's happening tomorrow. The real data point to watch is the hiring velocity. This year, the labor market has become a pressure cooker. People who have good jobs are terrified to leave them, so the turnover rate has plummeted. This sounds like stability, but it's actually a frozen market. Because no one's leaving, there are no vacancies to fill. And this is why you see these ghost jobs, positions posted by companies that have no intention of hiring, just to keep their stock price up or to collect resumes for a rainy day. Recent surveys show that nearly 40% of job postings in late 2025 and 2026 were never actually filled. You aren't failing at your job search. You are competing for roles that don't exist in a market that's holding its breath. Stay with me here, because this part affects whether the ladder you're climbing even exists anymore. For 40 years, the American career was a pyramid. You start at the bottom and you move to middle management, and eventually you reach the top. But now, the ladder has inverted. Corporations have realized that with current technology, they don't need the middle of the pyramid to function. We are seeing a barbell economy. There's a massive demand for low-wage service work at the bottom and high demand for specialized architect roles at the top. The middle, the project managers, the coordinators, the people who oversee the work, is being hollowed out. If your job consists primarily of moving information from one person to another, you're in the crosshairs of the restructuring. Let's get controversial. Middle management is dying, and it's not because managers are lazy, it's because their function has been automated out of existence. In the 1990s, you needed a manager to track progress and approve workflows. Today, we have dashboards. We have asynchronous communication. We have AI agents that can coordinate with a global team better than any human ever could. One executive can now oversee a team of 50 people that used to require 5 managers. When companies talk about efficiency, this is what they mean. They aren't trying to grow the pie, they're trying to cut the cost of the people holding the pie. This is a structural thinning. If your role is about oversight rather than output, the system is actively looking for ways to remove you from the spreadsheet. This part matters, so don't tune out. We are moving from an era of expansion to an era of efficiency. In 2021 and 22, capital was cheap, and companies hired anyone with a pulse to prevent competitors from getting them. This was labor hoarding. Now, capital is expensive. Interest rates have reset the world. Shareholders no longer care about your company culture or your office perks. They care about margins. Companies are asking a brutal, numerical question. What is the absolute minimum number of humans required to maintain this level of revenue? This is the efficiency trap. You aren't being laid off because you did a bad job. You're being laid off because a spreadsheet proved that company could survive 48 hours without you. So, well, everyone's terrified of AI taking jobs. It's like a sci-fi movie. Well, it's not. It's much more boring and much more dangerous. AI isn't a robot that sits in your chair. It's a script that runs in the background. AI is the tool that allows the barbell economy to exist. It allows a single junior designer to do the work of 3. It allows a copywriter to produce 10 times the volume. This doesn't necessarily mean everyone gets fired. It means the demand for labor decreases. If one person can do the work of 5, 4 people are now redundant. This creates a surplus of labor which drives down wages and gives all the leverage back to the employer. This is why salaries for middle-tier roles have stayed flat even as inflation has soared. You are being paid a very weird salary, and it's a number that looks big on paper but buys you less freedom every year. If you've been laid off, or if you feel the walls are closing in at your current firm, I need you to hear this. This is not a reflection of your value. We've been conditioned to tie our identity to our job titles. When the title goes away, we feel like we failed. But this year, a layoff is almost never a performance judgment. It's a math equation. You are a line item on a balance sheet managed by people who have never met you. Understanding this distinction is the difference between panic and strategy. If you take it personally, you will act out of desperation. If you see it as structural, you will act as an architect. You will stop trying to save a job that doesn't want you to be saved. You will stop trying to save a job that doesn't want to be saved and start building your own survival floor. I know this with my friend. He used to do a lot of computer programming, and essentially that job didn't turn out the way it should have because the boss was being a pain. But now he said, I need to do something. I need to make rent. And now he's making his own business as a handyman. Does a pretty good job with it. But things could change. And he found a new way to do a job. And he's not worried about the computer portion. He's focused on this new one that he's doing now. So let's talk about actual safety. In the 1950s, safety was a pension. In the 1990s, safety was a 401k. Now, safety is liquidity. Your job security is not your boss's opinion of you. Your job security is the amount of months you can live without a paycheck. If you have 18 months of expenses in a cash buffer, you have leverage. You can say no to bad deals. You can take the time you need to pivot to a new industry, just like my friend. Most people are, hollow. They have a high salary, but zero liquidity. Or as they say in Texas, big hat, no cattle. They are one HR email away from a total life collapse. The architect's first priority is lowering their fixed costs and raising their survival floor. Real job security is the ability to walk away from a job that no longer serves you. So, how do you survive the great restructuring? You stop being a middleman and you become a producer. You need to ask yourself, is my work measurable? If your value is vague, you are vulnerable. You need to align yourself with the parts of the business that either make money or save money. Everything else is luxury, and luxury is the first thing to get cut in an efficiency era. I like to think about all those perks that the developers used to get for Google and Apple and all this stuff. I'm sure a lot of it's disappeared, but it was really cool back in 2016 when you used to not really have to do your job for the whole day and, that was it. But not anymore. You also need to start building adjacent skills. You don't just be a marketer who understands data architecture. Don't just be an accountant. Be an accountant who understands automation systems. The goal isn't to work more hours. It's to be the person who manages the systems that replace the other 4 people. The job market of 2026 is cold. It's calculated. It's driven by efficiency over empathy. But that doesn't mean you can't win. It just means you have to stop playing by the old rules. Stop assuming loyalty will be rewarded. Stop assuming your degree is a shield. And start assuming the system is coming back the way it was in 2019. Yesterday's system rewarded the passenger. Today's system only rewards the architect. Build your buffer, protect your cash flow, and focus on the outcomes over activities. If you're ready to stop being a line item and start being an owner, follow the channel. Check out saf-finance.com to see where you stand. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.